What is going on, my 76er fanatics? Thanks for stopping back in and tuning back in for another daily pod with your daily Sixer discourse. Guys, make sure you like, subscribe, and comment down below because if you leave a comment or two, we read more than a few. We read all of your comments, so make sure you comment down below because all Sixer fans are talking about the crazy amount of money you can make in the NBA today. Hoops Hype released some of their highest paid players in NBA history, the top 10 of highest paid players in NBA history. And the list is kind of obvious, but also a tad bit surprising. Just to round out the top five, you got LeBron James at number one, the king. You got Stephen Curry at number two, one of the greatest of all time, greatest shooter of all time. You have Devin Booker at number three, third highest paid player in NBA history. At number three is Devin Booker. And he's only been in the league for 10 seasons. Imagine if Devin Booker plays for 20 seasons. He's clearly and obviously going to be the number one highest paid player in NBA history. But here comes Philadelphia, baby. After those top three names, here comes Philadelphia, baby. Number four is Paul George for the highest paid player in NBA history. And number five is Joel Embiid. Yes, Paul George and Joel Embiid round out your top five for highest paid players in NBA history. And let me defend Joel a little bit. Joel's definitely earned it. Joel is a guy who's played through broken orbital bones, broken fingers, torn meniscus. Joel even went out there to average 30 points with Bell's palsy. He averaged 30 points on one leg with one arm and barely one eye. Joel was knocking down jumpers and getting busy. He'll play through anything, but unfortunately you need Joel to play a lot more to make that number make sense. Now, Paul George on the flippity flip, Paul George is a longer tenured player, so for him to clip that much money kind of makes sense because of his tenure in the NBA. And he was an all-star since his matchup days with the Indiana Pacers and the Cleveland Cavaliers going up against LeBron James in the playoffs. Paul George has been that dude, and I think will always go down as being one of those great players of all times. But I just don't think he has the individual accolades or the resume to make it make sense to pay Paul George max money, max dollars, into this late into his career. One thing that does concern me about this amount of money that Paul George has made throughout his career and the fact that he is the fourth highest earning NBA player of all time, you know where his priorities are. I mean, you know what he's focused on. Paul George had fallings out with the Los Angeles Clippers outside of the usage, outside of the on-court play, outside of how they were going to design and draw up schemes for him on a day-to-day basis. He just wanted more money. Paul George's biggest concern, Paul George's biggest priority, after reading this article, has got to be his dollars, because that's one thing he's never fallen short of. That's one thing he's never been lacking. That's called big checks. Big check PG, man. And someone's going to have to check PG, man, because you can't get paid top dollar. You can't get paid max money, and you're playing bottom shelf basketball. And that's exactly what Paul George did last season. I mean, 18 points per game? For a $40 to $55 million per game player or $50 million per year player, it's not right. It isn't just, which is exactly why, guys, not only is this season going to make or break Paul George's, how we look at Paul George for the rest of his career as just a freeloader, as just a thief, as a Robin Hood, or are we going to look at Paul George as a proven winner, guys? Because this preseason, we should see how good, how ready, and how dedicated Paul George is to this team. Rumors are that he won't be ready for training camp. Rumors are he will be rehabbing up until the season starts, but that's fine. If you're truly a team player, if you're truly dedicated to the cause, and if you're truly interested in the success of a Philadelphia team, you're going to be there for training camp. You're going to show up. And luckily enough for Philadelphia fans, this preseason is extra important for Philadelphia fans, extra important for this Philadelphia team, because they get to put in some extra work. Philadelphia has a matchup against the Minnesota Timberwolves. I think two matchups against the Minnesota Timberwolves in Abu Dhabi. October 2nd and October 4th are the dates of those matchups, which means training camp starts a little bit earlier for those squads that are going overseas for those preseason games. So the Philadelphia 76ers get to start training camp a little earlier. Regardless if Paul George is there on time, regardless if Paul George is able to play at max capacity, he should be showing face. He should be there, not only to give out some leadership, but just to give some absolute knowledge, guys. You're a $55 million per year player. You can do more than just on-court play. You can do more than just knock down shots and get buckets. You can teach. You can coach. You can help. You can help build a culture and accountability in this locker room, because accountability, guys, starts top down. And if your top players, who you know Joel Embiid does have some issues, does have some problems showing up on time, being on meetings, you've heard that before. Paul George, you haven't been a Philadelphia 76er for a 10-year tenure. You haven't been here throughout the process. You just got this max money. So show Philadelphia fans and show the front office why you earned it and why you deserve it. This preseason is extra important outside of the money and the resources that Paul George should be using to be there at all times throughout training camp. But guys, like I said, the Philadelphia 76ers team gets to put in some extra work. They get extra time to get extra comfortable with one another. Jared McCain, Tyrese Maxey, Justin Edwards, VJ Edgecombe. They're getting extra reps, extra practice, and an extra window to start to practice together. That means Nick Nurse's system gets more time to be implemented, and with the young guys that this team is going to be relying on, even Trenton Wofford, a new face from here, is going to have a big role on this team. These guys get more reps to get acclimated with a system that last season just didn't work. Last season seemed like they didn't have a good understanding with. Plus, with preseason and the Sixer camp training camp starting earlier, that's good news for Philadelphia fans, because Quentin Grimes is running out of time to sign. Quentin, if he wants great usage, great opportunity, and to be a potential starting shooting guard for this team, he's going to have to be ready for this team for training camp. And because training camp for this team starts earlier than other squads, if he wants to be in a Philadelphia uniform, if he wants the best opportunity to have this season be a successful season for him, he's going to have to sign soon, guys. He's going to have to sign soon, which is another reason why we're hearing that Quentin Grimes may just sign the qualifying offer. Philadelphia and Quentin are miles apart on this contract negotiation. So for Quentin just to sign in and give himself a chance to be the starting guard, to play a 30-minute per game that he wants to be this season, guys, expect Quentin Grimes to sign a qualifying offer extremely soon. I'm talking about extremely soon, because it's extremely important for this team to get comfortable, to build camaraderie, and to build long-term, long-lasting chemistry. Because this is the first year that this team is shifting from a Joel Embiid-led team to a Tyrese Maxey-led team. And the preseason, the offseason, and the training camp workouts are going to be the obvious signs to see who fits perfectly and who will fit well next to the new star and to the new face of the franchise. That's Tyrese Maxey. If Quentin Grimes wants to become a staple in this team, or at least become a staple in this team for this season, so he's has a better chance of getting money next season, better chance of getting playing time and more minutes, he's got to be there for training camp. He's got to be there for preseason. So thank the NBA. Thank you, Adam Silver. Hey, thank you, CJ McCollum. Thank you, the entire NBA, for allowing the Philadelphia 76ers to go to Abu Dhabi to play this preseason, because now the offseason is starting to start looking real interesting soon. And that last and final roster spot should be filled in before they start to travel and before they start to train. So thank you guys for the preseason schedule. Thank you guys for the preseason schedule. But curse you guys for that Christmas schedule. The Sixers don't have a Christmas Day game. Some people say that doesn't matter. Some people say they don't care. But I just feel as though Christmas Day games does tell you who are the NBA's darlings, who are the superstar teams, who are the championship squads in Adam Silver's minds. It's the Lakers. You know it's the Lakers. You know it's the Knicks. You know it's the Spurs, Wembanyama. But the Sixers don't have a Christmas Day game. That could be extremely impactful to this team, because you know that the NBA does not expect them, or doesn't have high expectations for them, to be a consistent playoff contender. I mean, you don't get the third overall pick for no reason. So maybe the NBA is giving this Sixer squad the Christmas Day off, not because fandoms don't watch it. Always watching the Sixers on Christmas. Always watching Christmas Day basketball if you're a 76er fan. But you also got to consider that the NFL is coming back around. The NFL seems to be having some claims to these Christmas Day games. If the NFL is going to try to take over Christmas, Philadelphia is a football town first. As much as Philadelphia fans, Sixer fans love basketball, Philadelphia is a football town first. And a lot of Philadelphians probably will be watching a consistent, more exclusive, less elongated 16-game season for a football season than 82 games for a basketball season. That's probably why the Philadelphia fans don't have a Christmas Day game. But it also says that the NBA isn't as hopeful for this fan base to be as hopeful about this team. Again, Joel Embiid's not ready for training camp. Paul George isn't ready for training camp. So the NBA isn't ready to commit for this team being a playoff caliber squad or a championship ready team. With that being said, what are the postseason expectations? When you're not sure how healthy Joel is going to be, and you're not sure how healthy Paul George is going to be, what are the postseason expectations? I expect him to be there. Okay, listen, as a Philadelphia 76er fan, we all expect them to be there. They should be there in the postseason at least. And what seeding they should get, guys? Well, with Boston probably not getting the number 1 or number 2 seed this season, with the Indiana Pacers probably not getting the number 1, 2, 3, or 4 seed this season, it's going to be a fight for your rights to party in the postseason, guys. And I expect this Philadelphia 76er team to be within the 4 and the 9 range of the Eastern Conference Finals. I expect this team to be in the 4 of the 9 range within the Eastern Conference Finals. You got to remember, this is a team without Joel Embiid that has a win percentage of like 22%. They lose 80% of the games Joel doesn't play and wins 20% of the games he doesn't play. That doesn't look good. So they're going to have a huge cultural turnaround, a huge play style turnaround. And the expectations for this postseason are a lot better than last season because they'll be going to this training camp without Joel Embiid. They'll be going into this training camp without the expectation of Paul George playing Paul George-esque basketball. They'll be going into this preseason, into this season, with the expectation of a Tyrese Maxey-led team. Hopefully, they have some success into training camp, which would make a lot of sense for why a postseason expectation of a Tyrese Maxey-led team, his first year leading the team and being a focal point of a team, of a successful team, to the 4th seed, 5th seed, 6th seed, 7th seed, 8th seed. You don't want to put expectations way too high on a point guard-led franchise without a reliable big, guys. Jalen Brunson was the face of New York, the face of the Knicks, and they had a 4th, 5th seeded record before. Then they got Karl Anthony Towns. The team got a little bit better. The team got a little bit more impact, but he also had Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby. He had a lot of players beside him. The postseason expectation for this squad with a Tyrese Maxey-led team and not another star to name or mention beside him, the postseason expectation is just for them to get there. Just get there. Once you see how healthy Joel is, once you see how consistent Paul George is going to be, we can add and apply more expectations to this squad. But right now, the expectation is just to be there and be good once you're there. All right, guys, we're going to come back with you with another daily pod, daily episode of your daily Sixer Discourse, daily Sixer discussion. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. Leave more than a comment or two because we're going to comment on more than a few. We comment on everything you guys leave in the next episode, guys. We'll be addressing those comments. We'll be addressing the stuff you guys leave behind. Make sure you guys tune in and stop back for another daily pod because we got you back with more daily Sixer Discourse.